So dear Dhamma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. So let me get connect with our other network and then we're ready to start the session for today. So dear Dhamma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. Be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. So in case if you can't hear the bell sound, just let your body to settle down and focus to the silence. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, we are trying to basically give some information for yourself to build up a very clear spiritual foundation. So when it comes to meditation, more than any other time, we have so much information. So it is good, because when we have the informations, we are capable to find the right path for us. But at the same time, we have to be more careful, because sometimes our own inner nature become more comfortable with our own imagination, and when we find the informations, what happens, we are convert that outside informations to validate our inner imagination. So if we start to do that, we get into a trap, mental trap. It's very difficult to find the freedom. Because the very purpose of this whole practice, find the freedom from our own mind, not from the outside world. So when it comes to hindrance, that all the hindrance arise, basically the 5 hindrance arise in our mind, our mental conditions, our sanskara, mental formations, develop this the hindrance. Sometimes when we practice meditation, what happens, we establish and we develop the hindrance rather than get out of it. So that's why introspection in a certain way means that you look into yourself and become very clear, and you clean your own mind, which is sometimes not comfortable from the beginning. Sometimes, like we feel very, very irritated within ourselves. Any process of cleaning sometimes like that. So the mind is the same. So when it comes to then meditation, you have to remember, it is not we look something from outside, or we don't try to intake. We are trying to purify our own mind. So then first you have to be more humble. You have to accept yourself. You have to be more flexible yourself, to be open and let go your own imagination or your own mental formations or the cankers. And sometimes we have to let go what we believe as what is right or what is truth. So that's why in Buddhism, there are 2 paths that you can enter to this mental practice. One is called Saddhanusari, other one called Dhammanusari. So Saddhanusari means before you experience something, before you achieve to any result, you start to believe about it. So believing sometimes is kind of like some intellectual people, they bring arguments, there is no believing. There is no purpose of believing. But as ordinary people, we know, we all believe things. But here, the believing means here you start to look for the truth or the freedom, or you start to believe what is right. Maybe you never experience it. You never had it. But before you had it, you have some kind of will to experience it. Or give up greed, hatred, and the delusion. You believe you can do it. So before you achieve to that, you start to believe about it. Just imagine any champion. before they achieve the result, they start to keep practice. And then before they perform, they believe they can win. So that believing start to push them forward. Just imagine any children get ready for exam. Even when you get married with someone, you believe that you are capable to build up a good relationship. Even when you have children, before you see their face, you believe that they're going to be around you and they're going to be good children. So before you achieve something, you start to trust about it. That's the nature of the believing. So then, believing about the truth, believing about the Nibbana, believing about the liberation, believing about the freedom, believing about the Dharma, what the Buddha taught, before you experience, you start to believe about it. That is what called the Saddhanusari. So it based with the faith. And other one called the Dhammanusari. So the Dhammanusari, that person is more intellectual. That person has a nature always go with critical, analytical understanding or always bringing arguments. It's kind of like a reasoning rather than develop with the faith. So this true nature. So as example, if you know, when it comes to our brain, we have the left side, right side. Left side has a different nature, right side has a different nature. And when it comes to our human life, male, female. So like that, in the wisdom path, there are two ways. One is developing faith and other one developing the knowledge. But this both end with self-experience. From the beginning, maybe we hear it, we read it, we learn in many different ways, but by the time it takes us to experience. So once it becomes the experience, it becomes the same. It's like it doesn't matter whatever the direction, the water come to the ocean. Once it come to the ocean, it's become same, synchronized. So in Dhamma, there are another two kind of wisdom. One is called Parappaccaya Jnana, and other one called Aparappacaya Jnana. Jnana means here the wisdom. Parappacaya means that wisdom related to somebody. Maybe just imagine you heard from someone, then you start to believe about it. So the most of the wisdom that we have around us today, knowledge we have around us today is that Parappacaya. Even in this conventional world, that through the schooling, the college, universities, degrees, we follow others' knowledge. Just imagine in day-to-day life, we do a lot of things because other people told that like that way. So that's called Parappacaya. And Aparappacaya Jnana means, even though you start it here, that to believe it, because you learned from somewhere, you heard it somebody, and you start to practice it. So by practicing, by developing by mastering what happens, you start to gain some wisdom. That is, that once you start to gain it, it becomes your own wisdom. That is what called aparapaccaya jnana. So through the meditation, that is what you have to achieve. Even though we know, we heard about the impermanence, we heard about the unsatisfactory nature, we heard about selflessness. So now it is time for you to experience it, because without experiencing, you're not going to understand what it is. When it comes to knowledge, knowing is different person to person. When the perception perceive, the way you understand is called knowledge. So then that what you understand may be going to completely different than another person. Because that person understands according to that person. And other thing is that when it comes to the consciousness, we have a nature, we develop the inherent nature in consciousness, it take as one, always. When it comes to the body, it's basically, it start with the body. Head to toes, this entire body we take as one. That is where the self arises, I am, me. And in the moment that whatever you see, hear, smell, taste, you take it as a one object. Computer, it's as a one thing. Cell phone, as a one thing. But when it comes to the computer, there are many different parts together. But when it become the computer, what happens? That all part included and it become one. So this is the nature of the consciousness. And in the present moment, with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, whatever you perceive, you always take it as one. And then what happens? When it becomes a habitual pattern, we think, we believe there is a nature arise in us that whatever we experienced yesterday, we used to believe it the same thing today. That is another nature in consciousness. So we have nature to take anything as one, and then not only that, then we believe there is a continuation. The same thing going to be there. And then tomorrow, to the same computer, the same cell phone, same person. So that is where the identity arises. Because just imagine the mailman. One day he bring mails. And the second day he bring mails. Third day he bringing mails. No, now you know him. He bring it. So then, but each and every day it's different. But basically now you start to build up. And then by the time there is a identity arise, mailman. So the monk the same, policeman the same. So like that, this identity arise because of the continuation. The continuation arise because of the unification. Unification arise because of lack of awareness. So the here unification doesn't mean the tranquility state. The here unification means unified. That's the nature of the consciousness. So that unified nature arises because of the lack of awareness. Lack of awareness arises because of desires, lack of disciplines. Busy mind mean what? 5 hindrance governs there. Kamachanda, Vyapada, Tinamidda, Uddachaka, Kucha, Vichikicha. So this all the hindrance governs their why? Because of the repetition. So then why the repetitions arise? So the repetitions arise because of the desire or the lust. So why the lust or the desire arise? Because of the ignorance. So what is here the ignorance means? We are not capable to recognize the true nature. So then that here as true nature, we always used to observe the outside. But here what the Buddha mentioned as true nature is our 5 aggregates: form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition. What is arising in us? What are our experience? What are my feelings? What is the consciousness? What I cognize? So those are, we never put attention. So when it comes to that level, today I want to take you to a little bit more deeper. Hope you can understand it. Because now you see that this consciousness has nature to take things as one. But as ordinary people in the conventional world, to make our day-to-day life easy, we separate things. And then when it comes to study the Dhamma, practice the Dhamma, what we do basically from the beginning to start, we separate. We categorize. We put numbers. And that way, it helps us to develop as practitioners. Because it's very necessary sometimes. We cannot do whole thing as one from the beginning. As a result of this method, we develop this academical level of understanding. From the school to college to high school and college, university, so kind of like that. So then we always categorize. As a result of this nature, the comparison arises. So with that, what happens? We always divide things. We become more comfortable with divisions, duality. So basically, it is easy for us. In this conventional world. So that is where, so when it comes to tranquility state, what happens? You start to get out of the dualistic mind. You start to get out of the comparison. But still, that's not enough for you to find the ultimate freedom or the highest wisdom. So the Buddha found out something beyond this knowledge, this wisdom. So remember, only practice point of view, we divide things. And so when it comes to cause and effect, of course, in the world, in the Western science and philosophies and everywhere, everybody know, oh, the cause and effect. And very easily categorize, you can receive it. If there is a cause, there is an effect. And very easily we reasoning the word in day-to-day life. All the law governs with this cause and effect. Maybe you can become a best lawyer to analyze the cause and effect, but still you are not capable to understand the causality according to the Buddha mentioned. And according to your day-to-day experience as an ordinary person, as a matured person, maybe you are capable to analyze cause and effect in the conventional level according to your experience. But it's still, you are not capable to understand what is this causality when it comes to the Buddha's teaching. So it's basically about this internal experience, and at the same time, remember the very difficult part to understand here, when it comes to cause and effect, causality. Avidya paccaya sankara, sankara paccaya vijnana, nama rupa paccaya salayatana, so on like that. So from this ignorance, how the desire, perception, feelings arise, this everything arises at once. It's not later, not after. This all arise together at once. That is one way that you can kind of like a little bit go deeper and understand about the Dharma. Of course, we categorize things to practice point of view or to understand basically. But when the things happens, that things happen not one by one. The things arise at once. Even the greed, hatred, and the delusion. Even the ignorance. Even the loving kindness, generosity, compassion. So we try to practice one by one. And because of that one, what happens? Maybe we categorize and we compare, and by the time we cannot get the right result. So even in the conventional world, what happens, even though we have the Dharma, all the teachings, and what the people does, people divide conventional life, eternal life. And the people divide, oh, I do whatever the things in day-to-day life as ordinary person. Later, I can be spiritual. One day I will do it. So you divide. Listen this very carefully. Try to understand. You divide your conventional life and your spiritual life. And when the time comes, you do all your conventional things. And then when the time comes, you try to do all the spiritual things. So nothing wrong about it. Because that is what we used to do. That's how we learn. That's how we develop. That is only for conventional level. It's for the conventional world. But if you are really trying to get into the beyond the tranquility state, because that is very classic teachings only for the Buddha. Understanding this, form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition, this all arise at once. It's where you have to have very sharp and clear, crystal clear, very strong, undisturbed mind to see this. Remember that. Just doing things and just take it easy. You cannot tackle this network. Form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition. These all 5 things arising at once. See, even to divide this to 5 things, it's very difficult. It's unimaginable. Now, because we heard, now we know it, but from the beginning, how the Buddha himself, because the consciousness, we experience the consciousness, in the depth of the consciousness, this all form, feeling, perception, tangle, and the consciousness arise. So how the Buddha himself, for the very first time, recognize that inside, because that is where we cannot attain to the liberation or the enlightenment. That's why we get stuck with the tranquility state or the high mental powers. That is what used to happen. But now what the Buddha found out, it's not one by one. It's all arise together. So then in day-to-day life, how you can apply this? So don't try to divide your bodily, verbally, mentally action to conventional level and spiritual level. Your conventional life itself, your spirituality itself, your conventional life. So try to bring this together, bridge it, and start to develop it. So whatever you do, that is not about resisting things. No, whatever you do in the conventional level as ordinary person, when you do things, start to add some spiritual strength to it. So how you can then, you can do it, when you do something, reduce the power of the greed, hatred, and the delusion, and uplift the loving kindness, generosity, compassion, and wisdom. So anything you do, just as example, you can eat with the spirituality, developing your spirituality. How? Before you eat, just imagine, if you are recognize yourself, if there is a greed in you, and you reduce it. And then you first appreciate that whoever made that food, pay your gratitude to it. Or maybe if you have somebody, you share part of it, and then you eat with the joy. And that is it. That is how you develop the spirituality. So then you no need to do it later in the evening, practicing meditation or praying or thinking about may all living beings be well and happy. Because you already did it. When you go to sleep, you can go to sleep with the developing your spirituality. Appreciating your day, how many people help for you, visibly, invisibly. Your husband, wife, children, brothers, sisters, friends and family members, parents, how each other contribute, and appreciate a little bit. And look into yourself and see how you lived your life. How was your day? Did you have any kind of greed, hatred, or the delusion? Or did you have any kind of loving kindness, compassion, generosity, and did you develop any humbleness or any kind of good qualities in you? So you look into yourself, you mirror yourself, and then you fall into sleep. So that is spiritual. So you develop your spirituality. So whatever happened, maybe you make mistakes and you recognize it without trying to throw it to somebody else. You take responsibility. Oh, I made a mistake. And you recognize that whatever in your mind that you had, it was not right. Rather than trying to have an egocentric, self-centered mind thinking, oh, what I thought or what I said, what I did is the right thing. I never going to say sorry, I never going to change it. Kind of like that. You recognize, you understand you made a mistake. It's okay. So like that, start to develop your day-to-day life with spiritual qualities. So whatever you do morning to night, then you will see by the time your conventional life going to become successful, and at the same time your spirituality you develop, and as a result of that you gain certain kind of wisdom. So that wisdom come through you. That is what called aparapache, not the parapache. Parapache means, oh, somebody told, somebody said this, oh, that book say that thing, this book said this, that monk told this guru told this, and then we follow. Nothing wrong about it, but not all the time. One day you have to gain this wisdom to yourself. So then try to develop this. Remember, this everything arises in you with your form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition, not one by one. It all arises at once, or all change at once. So in day-to-day life, then slowly you can apply it to your activities. You cannot be good later, just being bad in the moment. So that is where the present moment becomes so powerful. Not yesterday or not today, tomorrow, today. Always you have just one day, that is today. Today is the most validated day. So as you know recently that we celebrate Buddha's birthday. Birthday, enlightenment, and passing away. All these three events at the same day. So why is that like that? Because another way to understand it, we born, our birth happens always in the present moment. This means today. And our liberation happens whenever it happens, you're going to call it as today. And when we're going to die, in that very moment, we're not going to tell, oh, I'm dying, it tomorrow. Oh, I'm dying, it is yesterday. We died today. So today is the day that for you to understand this. So then remember, today is the day you have to apply it, not tomorrow. Always use the today yourself to develop your practice. You live your today to the highest level with your maximum effort to get the best out of you. For today, not for tomorrow. So when you work today, every day, whenever you're going to look into yourself, and you will see Today is good day for you. Because most of people become unhappy. The trigger of the unhappiness, sadness, worry, disappointment start with the today. Something that happened today. And then we start to compare it to past or the future. If the today is good, oh God, it doesn't matter whatever happened tomorrow, whatever happened yesterday, today is good. So today is the day that you have to uplift yourself and bring your conventional and your spiritual life both together rather than separate. And today is the day that you gain your wisdom and you shift from this conventional level of understanding to gain some inner wisdom through experience. Once you have it, and it doesn't matter that where you are heading, and you find the ultimate freedom of liberation. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left and make it straight in one line and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and recite mentally, may I be well and happy, also Pativa, 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. If your mind go here and there, bring it back again and again. Just allow your breathing to happen itself. When it happens, just recognize. Do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire this your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, the stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward, and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. This is sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Also, by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Yattavata cha mehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya Dhamma Dhamma Patipattiya Buddhang Pujemi Dhammang Pujemi Sanghang Pujemi Addaya Imaya Patipattiya Jati Jara Vyadi Maranam Ha Paribunjisami Idammi Punyakammang Asavakkayavang Hotu Sabba Dukkha Pamuncatu. Bless.